Hey there, this is Octavia of Sit Yo Lich Ass Down. This is the interview episode with Siesie The Warlock, though, like last week with Chainsaw Man, this is the pre-roll before that, the main part, where I'm just sort of just shooting the shit and etc, etc, etc. Well, Attack on Titan has ended once again, after again, but don't worry, there will be one final time, we pinky promise, that it'll end next year. Now, it's like, I'm kind of torn, because my history with Attack on Titan is, well, probably as long as many of the people who might be maybe interested in watching this, or at least, well, in my age range anyway, of 20s. Because whenever Attack on Titan, the manga came out, I was like in 8th grade, and like I remember being like, wow, this is so interesting. The art's kind of a little bit shit, but you know, the story is really cool, man. And then like the anime came out when I like right when I was in high school, literally freshman year of high school in 2013. I wasn't in high school when it aired. It wasn't because it was the spring season show, and of course I wasn't in because I'm an American, or I was an American student. In a high school years ago, I of course take my first semester in the end of summer, but right before fall. So you know it ended right in the summer before my freshman year, basically, and it's like there was an obvious shift in how like people viewed anime. I wasn't like some cool kid or anything, but I was one of the few like emo like fucking like new atheist edgelord like kids in my middle school. Yes, that's one of the niches. I swear to God. Oh man, I could tell you some stories. The point is like we were basically a bunch of kids that were probably in the closet, or if not already kind of out. We were mostly emo. We liked manga, though many of us were poor, and so we sometimes had to scanlate, and it wasn't some tight knit little circle. It's like we didn't do any scanlating. I'm saying that we like had to pirate. We had to, we consume manga because we didn't have enough money. My manga collection was very small, and so like yeah, it's like yeah, like anyone that because I buy all my manga now, but anyone that was a kid at the time, and or any time I guess that manga's been out, you don't always have your own money. So the point is, but nowadays I don't do any scanlation bullshit. And not even because I necessarily object to it, which I do more so than any other forms of piracy, because I feel like that does more directly hurt artists and shit like that. Though at this point, it's like everything is over here as far as manga like is concerned. Like we get basically like almost everything. Like there is so much manga now, and light novels even. They're like it is a golden age to be a manga fan in the United States. And I've been collecting for a long time. And while I didn't ever get to around to finishing and concluding Attack on Titan's release, I do remember reading it fondly. And the show was this weird thing where all of a sudden kids that no longer or rather they no longer not gave a shit about anime. Or at the very least, they thought Attack on Titan was cool because everyone was talking about it. And then, of course, the big wait between several years between seasons 1 and 2. And then, of course, by the time season 3 rolled around, and we started to get stuff from the manga that was, let's be honest, yeah. But anyway, fuck. I don't feel like being nuked by orbit today, so I'll leave that there, mostly. But now here we are, all these years later, few genders later for me, because I, of course, have thousands of genders. Indeed, I'm a gender void, or whatever. But the point is, I'm like the gender titan. Annie is like the fucking female titan. I'm like the fucking fuck you up NB titan, or whatever. But anyway, we are now here at the pinnacle of the ending of the anime franchise, which, while the manga has already been over, it's clear that there is a separation between the popularity of the manga in the States versus the massive long-term legacy of the anime's impact everywhere in the world. Because, of course, the manga was very successful everywhere that manga is published around the world, that published Attack on Titan, and specifically North America and whatnot, but and Japan too. But it's like, but you know, it's sort of like a Full Metal Alchemist kind of thing, where it's like there's like sort of a slight like universal chaotic bridge gap between the schisms in various subsections of that franchise's fandom, where you have people that just like the manga, people that like the anime, or whatever. And in this case, with Attack on Titan, people who prefer the initial parts of the anime, you know, by Studio Wit, and now the Studio Mappa, you know, era right now. Personally, I think Mappa has done a good job, but it's not worth the shit they've been putting their animators through. That's fucking evil, man. Yeah, and another thing that's, in my opinion, slightly evil in nature and capitalisty that is also kind of sad to know is now that we are in the new season of anime, you know, coming forward, we are now in the age of the Crunchyroll Dubs channel. I think that's basically the replacement for the Funimation channel, and that really saddens me, man. Like, I've like fucking like VHS tapes or whatever, like Yu-Gi-Oh! With ads for like DBZ tapes on it, or outright DBZ tapes, or when I would like fucking, and those Yu-Gi-Oh! Tapes were also like the ones that Funimation were doing the mastering on apparently at this point. Little do we know, which is why 4Kids is no longer here, or at least lost the Yu-Gi-Oh! License, which led to them being, you know, no longer here. But the point is that Funimation is now a ghost of time, and Attack on Titan is also, because of its manga already ending, another ghost of time. And the anime is now another third ghost of time within the subsection of where anime fandom is right now, or at least in this sort of interroad of bullshit that I'm speaking. And Attack on Titan's ending of this penultimate season, quote unquote, because of course it's not the last one. It'll be probably next winter, I'd say. But it's like, I feel like that this specific season of Attack on Titan, but this specific part has, I think, done a good job in kind of addressing the issues that people had grown with the fandom, and even within the earlier parts of the season. Though, oh my god, the first part of the final season, the Hammer Titan shit, or Warhammer Titan shit. Oh, god damn it, that's fucking cool. Oh, fuck. God damn it, that was so fucking, fuck. Fuck. Also, like, just, fuck. Yeah, that's all it is, man, fuck. But this second part has been, I think, also a sort of remembrance of what made Attack on Titan special to us, especially because of the massive amount of fucked up shit that has been going on in the series, in the anime, right at this point, with everything coming to dark finality, with Eren transforming into the monstrous bone spider founding attack fucking Titan, whatever the fuck his combination of shit is. And of course he is the Warhammer Titan, but that's besides the point. And like the fucking like the rumbling. Whenever the rumbling happened, I thought of the song "Tumble for Ya" in my head, and also stonedly, outwardly, I was like, "I'll rumble for ya, I'll rumble for ya, I'll rumble for ya, I'll rumble for you." But anyway, this season, like, I think my favorite character this season is probably Gabby. And while Gabby has gotten a lot of hate, Gabby has been a very important character in terms of the sort of new identity of the Attack on Titan franchise as of late, in this final gasp of its existence as a concurrently being produced anime, where Gabby is sort of the sort of penultimate child of a lot of the sort of dark and oftentimes really poorly handled questions about morality and war the series has handled. And now we're at the final hour and everything is fucking said and done. The rumbling has happened and we got fucking Mikasa and pals fucking ready to kick ass. I'm so glad that Annie is back and the face she made like when she was eating like the pies and shit. Oh god damn it, I love Annie. She's so perfect. Annie did no wrong. Actually, no, that's not true. That's the point. Annie did do wrong, but so has everyone else. It's like the remaining characters have all realized, oh god, we've all been wrong, and you shouldn't fucking, base your political views on bullshit that may or may not have happened 2,000 fucking years ago. And it's like, though I do love when we saw Ymir's backstory, the reference to the hallucigenia creature from prehistory and whatnot, with the fucking founding titan parasitic whatever the fuck. And of course, Ymir can only be fucking controlled and, and broke free of her fucking, or not controlled, but broke free of her, like, cosmic enslavement by getting the fucking head pats and hugs from a cute but really fucked up boy that she needs to stay the fuck away from. Oh my god. Am I even going to say YTP? Oh my god. But the point is, Lord, Eren is a bad fucking. Do not make him a evil husbando. But it's like, god damn it, it's fucking. Estrogen is a hell of a drug, and it's like, don't fucking do it. I've had my history of boyfriends that emotionally were like Eren Yeager. Don't fucking do it. Don't fucking do it. Unless they're trans, in which, go ahead, because trans masks can do no wrong. My brothers in darkness, fucking, but that's the point, ain't I? But the point, I'm making exceptions here. The point is, don't make your husbando Eren Yeager, in real life anyway, because that bone spider motherfucker will probably fucking ghost your ass, and, probably just go on about fucking bullshit. Fucking, the point is, yeah, Eren Yeager is not a good husbando, and he's kind of, I don't blame him for being in the state that he's in, but as a protagonist, he's kind of become anime Charles Manson, and it's like, what the fuck? Now, he's not as crazy as, like, Zeke or whatever, but it's like in his whole weird paradise euthanation plan, whatever, fucking, that's even more fucked up. But fuck, I don't know. Yeah, it's like I don't. I've kept spoilers from the manga away from me, and I don't know what the ending is. I think I have an idea, but because it's not like that I've totally not kept up in the manga, but I don't know, man. Let's just see about season 5, part 1, part 2, part 3. Part 1 Titan, part 2 Titan, red Titan, blue Titan, fucking, like, fuck. But, I keep saying but, that's gonna be, I need to put that on a t-shirt. Yeah, so that's Attack on Titan, the final season, part 2. I'm glad we're getting a final season, probably, instead of some fucking movie, because that wouldn't be enough time, and, maybe it wouldn't be as consistent in the story if they tried to make the animation tighter. Don't want it to like have like a sort of air of Shonen Jump moviness to it, though that kind of archetype has eroded over the years in my opinion. But whoa, I just can't believe that Attack on Titan is finally at a close, and I, even though I've only lived a short 23 and a half years, I just feel like this is like this sort of weird passing away from innocence and youth and whatnot. And yeah, it's like, I hope everyone that I read Attack on Titan with back in school is doing okay, and I hope that our poor babies in crisis, fucking baby face young adult Mikasa and Armin, can slap the piss and shit out of their dumbass friend. And fucking, yeah, man, fucking, yeah. Attack on Titan. Now, here is the end of the pre-roll, and, yeah. This is now the interview with Siesie the Warlock.
Okay. Now, what character do you want to be?
I want to play the Warlock.
Hello, everyone. This is a very special recording of Sit Yo Lich Ass Down. For in front of me today, we have our very first special guest co-host. This is from the dark and evil crypts and tombs and homes and trailer parks of Litchfield. I present to you Siesie the Warlock. Siesie, are you glad to be here?
I'm very glad. It's quite an introduction there. I don't really know how to follow that.
Well, it's really cool having you here too because I'm not really used to the whole interviewing people thing, but I guess we'll do it.
Yeah.
I know Siesie from way back. I met them all the way back in 2018. We met at the queer clubs that we were going to at our local college back when they were going to Western Kentucky University in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And they are just one of the coolest dudes I met. We initially were boyfriend-girlfriend, but now we're just two fucking, like, badass warlock witch dudes who are friends and shit or whatever, and we play Magic and D&D all the time, and we party and shit. They invite me down to them and their boyfriend's, trailer for parties. Like recently, for their birthday, they had a winter solstice / birthday party for them sort of thing where they cooked a whole shitload of things from this D&D cookbook, like these mushroom rolls and this really specific like glaze on this ham, and it was really good. They also make a hell of a pot brownie too. They gave me a shitload of pot brownies for Christmas. And today and the last several days we've been partying to celebrate the spring equinox from the other day, though it's several days since then obviously. And we've been doing magic mushrooms and playing Magic and watching movies, eating pizza, playing with my dog Sadie, etc. and whatnot. It's been really fucking crazy and fun.
It's been a regular circus.
Mm-hmm. All right, Cece, before we get into any of our free talk about our last few days of partying and shit, let me ask you a couple questions about yourself for the audience.
All right, sounds good.
1. Recently, you've been running a Dungeons and Dragons campaign on your Discord, and I was just wanting to ask you about some of the things about your setting, about what kind of fantasy setting it is, about the tone, and maybe relay some of the stories from their last couple adventures with me.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a pretty standard D&D fare. It's set on the Sword Coast, and I got a lot of the stuff from this weird Kassoon.com or something like that. It was like a one-shot generator, but I took a lot of ideas from that and basically stuck them together into something.
Yeah, it's so far we've only done one little adventure, and now we're starting on the second part of the campaign. The first part had us all various adventurers, aka our friends, or Siesie's friends mostly. I'm friends with them now, but I'm the only person that I knew in the Discord initially was Siesie. But it's funny too, because also this is the amalgamation of a couple different groups, because we tried to play the same game with multiple people, but things didn't work out, and so we had to restart, and now our party right now consists of me, who plays the ancestor of one of my very first D&D characters from someone else's campaign, Amon the Third, a blue dragonborn priestess lady, death priestess that worships Amon the First, who is a lich goddess and a multiversity, perpetual something or another singularity, kind of like Unicron in the expanded Transformers lore, or the Chaos Gods from Warhammer, where there's only one Amon the First, but her lineages can be found in all dimensions because she exists in all dimensions. And basically, in other words, this is tied to my scaly OC. Hello. But anyway, and besides me, there is Zeron, aka Cece's boyfriend, who is playing a gnome barbarian, I believe.
Yes.
What's their character's name? Do you remember?
Guthric.
Guthric. Yeah, in fact, recently, our last adventure, got to meet Guthric's gnome family or whatever. It kind of looks like the scene that's portrayed of gnomes in their little shoe hut that's on the bottom of my little ashtray that I have next to me with a fucking joint in it. Yeah, he's really cool and has been able to do some cool shit. The one time, he, was charging at a door that wouldn't open because it was like a puzzle door, and we opened it at the same time that he was running, and so he was like, ah, and fucking ran into the dark room, and yeah, but anyway, it was pretty funny. But he's a pretty strong character too. Zeron is certainly the sort of min-maxy sort of player, but not in a bad way that you kind of see a lot in parties at least once. Another is Elmar, who plays, I believe, our elf character?
Yes.
Yes, they are an elf, Rogue. And they're cool. They sort of do the sort of standard rogue, sort of short DPS, melee attacking and all that. But they're really good. And then finally Jix with a J, who is the name of Mark's character. He is a changeling pugilist.
Yes.
Very, it rolls off the tongue very well. I'm the only true hard spellcaster in the party, but I make up more than enough of it. We're all pretty well balanced when it comes to attacking, especially considering that I'm a cleric and actually have a fucking armor class. But our first adventure that we did was we were in this town just by just chance of getting this letter from this fucking blacksmith person who their son was the captain of this guard post outside of their town. And the guard post was an old and ancient citadel that had been inhabited hundreds of years before, but it had been abandoned and since up until recently, when the guards of the current town, kept post there. And apparently the blacksmith's son found some kind of evil shit in this sword at the bottom of this well or cavern or something at the bottom of the citadel, and it basically pulled a doom where it started mutating the place with demon energy and shit like that. And so we basically kicked the shit out of him because he was at this point possessed by a demon and was unfortunately dead. Though we saved the day, and hey, I got to fuck a kobold lady in the tavern afterward. And there is a almost deadly bar brawl. Here, go ahead and, I don't want to eat up all your time here this is my talking anyway. Go ahead and tell me some more things about the town and some of the things we did last week where we had a mostly role-play session.
Well, last session was pretty standard. I was thinking we needed a little more role-playing. So, like she said, we went to Guthric's home. It was funny because we were talking about the place we were going to for the next adventure, Guthric being not far from there. And then he rolled to see how far he actually was from his house. So I said, all right, you drive past your house on the way. And then he saw his wife, and then from there, it was funny. Because Guthric wanted to know how close to his house he was going. I was like, okay, you see your house. And then his wife waved at him. And now I'm role-playing the part of this wife, which is funny because me and Zeron are actually together, which was really weird dynamic, but was really funny.
Yeah, you were oh, blimey, you need to support a team, me love, and all that bullshit. It was really good. I told Zeron that his gnome wife character had no chance because who wouldn't want to resist 8-foot fucking dragon lady dick or whatever. But yeah, your campaign is really good. This next week, or rather this coming Sunday, we're going to be going to this plague land where there's like village of probably some kind of magic bullshit. The inner necromancer in me, and also the fact I am playing a death priestess, thinks they may be undead, but I don't want to metagame.
Meta.
All right, question 2. What is your favorite D&D character you've ever played as?
My favorite character, that's a tough question. I've had some fun cards, but I guess my favorite would have to be my original character, which was a drow warlock called Orpheus, because I couldn't be edgier, because I was a total little edgelord growing up. But anyway, I was in a chaotic campaign, very first game I ever played. I was in a group of 15 people. 13 of us were chaotic evil. 1 of us was true neutral. 1 was lawful good. We ended up sacrificing the lawful good to like Tiamat or some shit.
Mm-hmm. It's never a good idea for the lawful good to start hawking NFTs and Bitcoin. They just gotta die, right?
Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's sort of like a Dritz sort of character in the long tradition of curbing off fucking Michael Moorcock's Elrica Melnibone. But hey, we stand an evil, angsty, silver-haired, kind of elfy twink boy with a sword. Just like how I stand the twink elf boy with a sword in front of me right now. Though I don't think Dritz or Elric ever had a bitchin' red mohawk, but my friend does. Yeah.
Yeah, you're making me overthink my haircut.
Don't worry, we both have pink hair, or pink red hair rather, and so yeah, even though they're Sagittarius, we are lit with the burning star Scorpio.
You're a total Scorpio.
All right, next question. Any upcoming projects, or also known as, is there anywhere like online that you can read any of your short fiction or anything like that, or what about your Twitter even?
I don't really have a Twitter. I don't have a ton up that anybody can read, but I am planning on getting on Wattpad and writing some stories. So.
All right, cool.
And as far as projects go, I guess right now I am torn between which campaign I'm actually going to play, because I've been working myself up to playing a campaign with one-shots.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really wanting to play a actual campaign with my group, if we can stay together and everything can work out. But I am torn between either like Curse of Strahd, because I feel the whole Halloweeny vibes, or I don't know if I want to do the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, because I just got that.
Right. Well, I've heard Wild Beyond the Witchlight is pretty good. Spoilers to the audience. I bet it'll be Curse of Strahd, because we both love that ooey gooey Halloween flavored gothy bullshit. Yeah, and Curse of Strahd is so fucking cool. Love it, love it, love it. It's so fucking good. Love it, love it, love it. We still need to get that Ravenloft book that's newer that came out, I think, last year.
Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft.
Yeah, that one. But so whatever we play, pretty good, and maybe in the future when your Wattpad is up, or if you like make a Twitter for your project, I will go ahead and link it in the doobly-doo. Though for now, all that's there is just my Twitter. Though, do you want me to link your Facebook or whatever? Are you cool with that, or?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, sure. Well, I'll put CC's Facebook if you want to get in touch with them and maybe in the future get into a game with us. Which, hey, that'd be pretty cool. You get to me, the Lich Ass, and them, the Warlock. Last question here. Let me flip over my notes.
I am more than happy to answer.
Just for prostating
paterities.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Oh, my prostate always gets up for this. Listen, the thing that I'm using is actually the Blue's Clues in You handy dandy eraser notebook thing, because I loved Blue's Clues growing up, and of course I left it kind of early, like, a lot of things, like, you quote them on Sesame Street or something like that. I nostalgically love it today, and because of the fact that my grandma found in her closet a 20-year-old old school in mint condition, the second era Joe recliner, whatever the fuck it was called, thinking chair shaped notebook that's like totally sealed. That following Christmas that year, a couple years ago, I was, as a joke gift, given the new handy dandy notebook that, you know what, it actually makes for a really good dry erase pad, because it not only is it, all of the notes dry erase, but because you get so many. And hey, you know what, even if I don't watch the new show necessarily because it's just not my thing, I'm totally for it. And you know what, I'm so happy that they're trans inclusive. And in fact, we're recording this on Trans Day Visibility, and it's like, I'm really glad to, one, be visible with you, Cece, because you're really fucking cool, and we always have a good time. We've seen some shit. We've partied. We've tore up some things. We've gotten into some trouble. Hell, the other day we got kicked out of a fucking gas station because I had fell off their porch and scratched my arm on some fucking rocks, gravel in the driveway, and it was fucking, I thought it was okay, but it started bleeding bad in the car on the way back from their place to my place. And so we stopped in this gas station, and whenever we left Cece's apartment, or trailer rather, they had given me a few wine coolers, and in the back seat anyway, drunk a couple because I was fucking hurting or whatever, and they didn't exactly have a painkiller to chase it down. And so we go in after finishing the last one on behind the building, and I was fucking mad and pissed at it because my arm fucking hurt, and so I just, threw the bottle against the wall lightly, and it fucking broke. And I wasn't meaning to litter per se, and I wasn't thinking, and it was kind of baked, and I was angry, and that's not cool. But I go into the back and use the bathroom, and then to clean my wound, and then I fucking get out, and Cece is fucking being harassed by this fucking bitch behind the counter, who is like, "You don't break no bottle in my driveway," some fucking Karen bitch. And it's like, yeah, I guess I shouldn't have, but, I apologize and tried to make right. And she's like, "No, you get out," and, pointed her finger. Like I was, some disobedient dog that shit on the rug. And it's like, what the fuck? I'm not going to mention names or anything because, don't harass people. If you harass someone for that, if you were wanting to find, say, a name for someone to then go and find them and harass them, don't. Because that's an asshole thing to do. Don't do that. But anyway... we've gotten into some trouble in the past, but all's good, and etc. And we even called and apologized, but even still, the point is, make sure that there's no bitch behind the counter at the gas station if you plan to do something out of pure anger and spite, but not in spite of anyone else, because I wasn't trying to offend her or anything. But story time aside, let's move on to the final question. What would you like, Cece, from 6th edition D&D, if that were to ever exist?
Honestly, I would like a revamping in some of the mechanical aspects of it. One thing that's really funky about 5e is that, the mechanics on horseback riding and things like that aren't quite even to what they would be in real life. And I know that has been an issue that not only I've complained about, but I've known a few people who've just found some of the mechanics clunky and not quite where they need to be.
Right. Well, I think that, sorry, I had to cut, this is going to be another edit, I took a little bit too hit off that fucking month, but whatever. I think that 6th edition D&D is going to be less of a transition between game rules and more about intended audiences and game settings. Because we have this really divided yet unified, permeable semi-state in post-2020 gaming. Because beforehand, we would get, 50 was so fucking popular, and it still is. But because of how hard it is to get games in person, which hurts sales for, say, miniatures for D&D, which is why you're starting to see, maybe some price hikes on a lot of things across the board, not just with, D&D or WizKids, but also, say, with Games Workshop and their Warhammer stuff and etc. It's moved mostly to Discord. And I would say that they'll maybe include a section on how to abbreviate games solely for theater of the mind, and not make it a LARP per se, but Like, I feel like that they'll distinguish that somehow in some way from like the traditional tabletop setting, and maybe even perhaps maybe make the more grindier, like chunkier crunch rules maybe into like, how to run a hobby town or hobby store or like skirmish D&D game, maybe as a way to combat against other skirmish fantasy games like Frostgrave. I've never played Frostgrave, but I'd like to. For CC, if you're not aware, Frostgrave is basically a war game where you have 10 like schmucks and like a wizard, and you have 10 schmucks and a wizard, and you basically play a game of two-player D&D on in battle fantasy terrain, like maybe maybe reused Warhammer fantasy terrain, for instance.
Yeah.
It's a good game, but I'd rather try the Stargrave, the sci-fi counterpart, and etc. But Osprey Games put out a lot of good games, but my local scene isn't that diverse. And D&D is kind of like the only games me and CC really run often. Though CC's gotten involved with some vampire LARPing in the past, but that's maybe for another story. I think that 6th edition also should maybe reflect maybe some like guides on how to say, I don't know, make your D&D counter not weird, maybe, or at least this is what I would like. This is all hyperbole, of course, because me and Cece both know how weird it is to be two trans femme / gender fuck / non-binary / masculine, in their case, fucking like trans dudes in fucking like a hobby setting. That really fucking sucks. But, and unfortunately on this day of trans visibility, many things in the world right now about being trans kind of suck. But you know what? Whether it be D&D, or say, like, being trans or whatever, find the people around you that you can have fun with, because at these times, that's what really matters. Not being good at a game, not being bad at a game, and just have fun. And I like having fun with my friend. We watched Lord of the Rings on shrooms, and today
that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. We also I showed them Carnival of Souls, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I always have fun with this motherfucker. He's fucking the Silent Bob to my J, or maybe I'm the Silent Bob to his J, but who knows? Or maybe they're the Kyle Gass to my JB from Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny, because I like that movie better. But but anyway, any final words, Cece?
Just be yourself, worship the devil, and don't drink the Kool-Aid, my friends.
Yeah, hell Satan, bah.
Wow.
Alright, thank you so much. Everyone be good. And after this, on my own, because we're going to be pouring this record hand, but CC has to leave. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do my 5-card horoscope coming up. And see me next time when we talk about whatever the fuck I think of. Anyway, be safe, trans rights, fuck the governors of Texas and Florida, J.K. Rowling's a TERF, fuck Disney, and happy Trans Day of Inclusivity or Visibility or whatever the fuck.
Stay queer.
Yeah, stay queer, my beer. I don't fucking know. Toodles. Bye. Hello. This was a few days before what's going on right now with the issue of like conservatives and TERFs and other such going after not only trans people, but the 1 in 20 parents that actually are supportive of their trans children, because the way that they are using us trans people as a linchpin to ignite this giant shitstorm of recertifying fears about gay people in general is fucking not only tiring, but abhorrent. And it's fucking sad. I recorded the interview on Trans Day of Visibility, and it's like, I just wish that we could go a week without someone referring to people like me and everyone I care about as groomers, because we don't want trans children to, kill themselves by age 13, because as a once-in-the-closet, suicidally inclined teenager who fucking, hated myself and thought that I was a monster for who I was, and knew others just like me that were in that same sort of hell closet, it just speaks to the fact that that there's this real fear of trans kids being forced to go back into that closet. Many still are. And I don't know, it fucking pisses me off whenever we see people try and fucking make it their damnedest to make sure that the trans youth of tomorrow stays miserable and just never exists. Because it's not just about sports. It's not just about, I don't know, whatever the fuck kind of bullshit, non-thinking point TERFs try and spew out today. It's even a bit more the fact that J.K. Rowling is using all of her fucking billions of dollars to help spread hate and etc. and other shit. It's not even also the fact that they're accusing us autistic people of being somehow not able to live our own lives and somehow try and correlate that with transness in a way that makes you wonder, what is the issue if there are autistic people that are trans? And what is the issue if there's a correlation? It's like fucking, it's this fucking big giant monster of a thing comprised of many heads and many crowns and all that pretentious bullshit mutterings about what it could be like. This is just a fucking hate campaign trying to make it to where people like us don't exist. We've always existed, but we've always been hidden. And if not hidden, dead. And if not dead, never was. And we have fought too hard as a community to let these motherfuckers slip all of that shit out of our way that we've tried to fucking do to fight the monsters at the door and live a life for ourselves and make a better life for others. We're not going to give up without a fight. And I guess them motherfuckers aren't either. Who knows what tomorrow brings. But if you're a trans child right now, or a parent of a trans child out right now, or a trans person in general reading this, what am I talking about? Watching this, read with your mind, read with your ears, then, God is speed, and just know that if you outlive all of these motherfuckers, you win. Because most of these are old-ass fuckers on death's doornail, and you will outlive them, and then once the world has healed from their ilk, you can shit and piss on their graves all you want. Because, you know what? Fuck TERFs, and fuck J.K. Rowling, and fuck everyone out there that tries to fucking bother others simply for just existing. And, and being visible, my friend Siesie, and having that time made me realize that it's not about the world around you, even though, certainly geopolitically it is, when it comes to like rights and whatnot. But it's also about finding those around you that you want to protect and that protect you and make you feel safe. Find people that love you and don't fucking, pussy ass down in the face of fear and stop their allyship because they, fucking found a Facebook post that changed their fucking turf ass mind into thinking that us trans women shouldn't compete in sports. Find people that aren't going to be like that. Find other trans people. Find trans people who aren't gatekeepers. Find cis people that are allies and that whatnot. Just know that there are more of them than the fucking loud, fucking shit-ass annoying motherfuckers out there in the fuse that fucking hate and attack us and wish us dead and wish us death. So, trans rights, motherfucker. Now, here's your tarot. Alright, to end off this episode of Sit Yo Lich Ass Down, we are going to do our classic 5-card horoscope with these tarot cards. Classic Rider-Waite deck, and it's a 5-card format. The first 4, of course, represent past, present, and future. 2 cards represent the past, because the past is always both in the present and in the past at the same time. With the 5th and final card being horizontal ways, like the number 2 in the Celtic Cross pattern that you typically see in Rider-Waite decks, where the 5th card is sort of what covets the present, or what the present covets at the moment, or it may be perhaps an obstacle. It depends on the card. Yeah, but anyway, so the first card is the reversed Eight of Wands. The second is the reversed Six of Wands. Or wait, wait. The reversed Four of Wands. The Fool. And the Page of Wands inverted. With the fifth card, which covers the two present cards. The Knight of Wands. A lot of wands. Seems that we have a little trickster amongst the winds and zephyrs that are summoned from the northern mountains during this time. The ghosts of a former winter, perhaps. But yeah. That is the tarot announcement, and please like, subscribe, and check out both me and Cece's social media and the doobly-doo in the bottom, or wherever it is in the future. And next time, like I've probably said like 5 or 6 times, this has been a editing sort of jumbled salad, testing my limits and shit this episode. But anyway, I'll probably talk about like some of the new anime that have come out, maybe like the first episode impressions or something. They won't be like live or whatever, and probably because of like copyright and shit or whatever, I will probably just stick to just showing off each show by its like the poster, like the like key visual poster, whatever, and if not that, or slash and or, because that might be in the pre-roll of this, I plan to do an Easter episode of some kind during this month. And yeah, so look forward to that. I haven't fully decided yet, but there it is. And have a good day, and be safe out there, trans rights, and yeah, be good to each other, because just don't be an asshole. Yeah, be good to each other, man. Anyway, yeah, this is the Countess, Lichess, Sorceress, whatever is, Octavia, signing out. See ya.